The last time a client came to me saying that their ads were not working, I did not touch their ad account for the first 3 weeks. What I found instead is why you are watching this video. And before we get there, I want to be clear about something. This video is not for people who haven't run ads yet. If you are a beginner, this will confuse you more than it will help you. So come back when you got the skin in the game. Thank you. This is for the person who have already spent money, already hired someone, already tested creatives with agencies and maybe increased their budgets, and still feels like they are pouring water into a bucket that has holes and they cannot find it. So if that's you, stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through is going to be uncomfortable. Not because I'm going to criticize you, but because you already know this. You have just been hoping it was not true. Here's the first thing I want you to understand is that the paid traffic is not the solution. It's a multiplier. That's it. That's the whole game. A multiplier does not choose sides. It does not care what you have built is strong or broken. It takes whatever is already there and it scales it up, down, or maybe sideways. It just amplifies your strengths and it amplifies your weaknesses with equal indifference. I call this amplification law. Means in practice: strong offer, solid funnel, real follow-up, turn on ads, you will scale. And same is the exact vice versa case. Strong offer, broken funnel, no follow-ups, turn on ads, you get leads you cannot close and you blame the leads. Weak offer, everything else is perfect. Turn on ads, you get clicks that bounce and you blame the targeting. All three of those businesses think they have an ads problem. None of them actually do have an ads problem. Now here's the uncomfortable part. Most business owners know somewhere that the problem is not the ads. They have felt it. Some part of them has suspected it for months. But the ads are easier to blame than the offer. The agency is easier to fire than the funnel that you can actually fix. And switching platforms is easier than admitting that the thing you have built has a flaw and you did not see coming. I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because of business owners I have watched waste the most money on ads, and always the smart people and resourceful people who work hard and they keep losing because they are solving the wrong problem at speed. Ads do not make the wrong problem more expensive. They make it undeniable. So what are the actual problems? There are 4 of them and they almost always show up in order, which is important because where you are in that sequence changes everything about what you need to do next. I want you to walk through each one not as a checklist, as a diagnostic. By the time we are done, you will know exactly where your system is broken, and you will understand why the client I mentioned at the start, the one whose ad account I did not touch for 3 weeks, had all 4. Let's just start with the one nobody wants to admit: the offer problem. Your offer might not be strong enough for cold traffic. That sounds harsh, and it's really meant to, because most offers that work through warm referrals, through word of mouth, through existing trust, completely fall apart when a cold stranger sees them for the first time. Referrals carry trust with them, but the cold traffic carries none of the trust. So when you take an offer that's been surviving on warm relationships and you run a paid traffic to it, you are asking a stranger to trust you the way a friend of your friend would actually trust you, and they won't, not without a reason. The tall tale of an offer problem is not a high cost per click, it's the high cost per lead. Your click-through rate is fine. People are curious enough to click your ads. But when they land on the page, they leave because the page asks them to trust something they have not been given a reason to trust. The fix is not more ads, it's more specificity. A weak offer says maybe something like, we do digital marketing for businesses. A strong offer would say, we help interior designers get more 10 qualified projects or inquiries a month from Google without relying on referrals. One of those is a category. One of those is a result for a specific person with a specific problem. Cold traffic responds to the second one and ignores the first, and will always ignore the first. So, if your offer is not specific enough to be rejected by the wrong person, it's not specific enough to attract the right one. And the failure mode 2 is the funnel leak. This one is quite a more insidious because the numbers look okay until you do the math. Let's say your cost per click is reasonable, your traffic quietly seems fine, but somewhere between the click and the conversion, people are disappearing, they are leaking. Like you are pouring water into a bucket that has holes, and you do not know where it is because nobody ever told you to look. The funnel leak almost always lives in the first of three places: the page load time, the form friction, or the disconnect between what the ad promised and what the page delivers. The disconnect one is my fixable because it's so fixable and so overlooked. Let's just say you run an ad that says get more clients this month, and the landing page headline says welcome to blah blah blah. Completely, the trust is already broken. We are a field service rich marketing team. That's a broken promise. The ad created a specific expectation. The page, it delivered a generic disappointment. The visitor did not leave because they were not interested. They left because they felt misled, even if only slightly. Like on the ad you were talking about, I have this solution for you, and on the landing page you are introducing yourself and the generic yes. What I want you to do is message match. It sounds obvious, it is obvious, and most funnels do not have it. That tell your cost per click is healthy, your cost per lead is 4 or 5 times what it should be. The traffic is not bad now, the container is leaking. And the failure mode 3 is the follow-up void. This is the one that genuinely frustrates me because it means the ads worked, the funnel worked. A real human raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested. And then nothing happened fast enough. Your team was lazy as fuck. Studies on lead response time are damning. The chance of qualifying a lead drops by over 80% if you wait more than 5 minutes to respond. 5 minutes? Most businesses are responding in 5 hours. Some are responding the next day, and you have already lost that lead. By then, the person has already filled out maybe 2 of the forms. They have had a conversation with your competitor. They have moved on, not because they chose someone else, but because someone else was simply there for them and while you were not. And then the businesses look at the ad results and say, we got 40 leads this month and closed 3. The leads are garbage. The leads were not garbage. The response system was. The tell for this one is the leads are coming in. Your close rate is below 20% and your sales team cannot explain why. Ask them, what's your average response time? And you can ask them, what does the first message say? You will find your answer in those 2 questions almost every time. The failure mode 4 is the wrong traffic problem. This one is actually different from the other 3. The other 3 have a system failure, internal problems that exist regardless of who's clicking the ad. This one is an optimization failure for the ad. What actually happens is you have built a decent system, but you are pointing at the wrong audience. Like you are selling to the wrong people. You have not your ICP defined yet. Wrong geography, wrong intent stage, wrong decision maker. You are getting volume. Maybe impressive volume, but it's the wrong volume. Your pipeline maybe look full and your close rates says otherwise. The dangerous version of this failure is when the volume is high enough that it feels like progress. You are busy, you are following up to the prospects and you have your conversations, but none of them are going anywhere because the targeting is pulling people who are too early in their decision, too small in their budget, or simply not the person who signs the check. Not at least for you. So the volume is not a metric. Qualified volume is a metric I want you to measure. If your sales team is saying the leads are garbage and you are already eliminated the follow-up void, listen to them. Please listen to them. They are telling you something about your targeting that your dashboard is not. So back to the client, 3 weeks, no changes to his ad count. What did we find? All four of these broken systems. The offer was positioned for warm audience, heavy on credentials, light on outcomes. The funnel had a 4-step process between click and contact form with a page load time that was killing mobile conversions. The follow-up was all BS, generic auto-response followed by human call 44 hours or 72 hours later. And the targeting was optimized for clicks, not for the profile of someone who would actually become the client. So, we spent 3 weeks fixing the system, tightened their offer, rebuilt the landing page to match the ad. So there's a consistency in client's journey from the ad to the landing page. So he actually gets what he was promised. Then set up a 15-minute response protocol with personalized first message template. Rebuild the targeting around intent signals instead of demographics. We turned the ads back on. Same budget, same platform, but this time very different results. Not because the ads got better, but because the system was finally ready to receive the traffic. And here's what I want you to leave with. Most businesses use ads as a rescue operation. Revenue is down, pipeline is thin, panic sets in. They turn on the ads and they discover at their own expense that their system does not convert. And the operators who actually scale with paid traffic think about it completely differently. They build systems first. They test the offer organically through outbound, maybe through referrals, through content. Then they close the first 10 or 20 clients manually before automating a single thing. They know their close rate before they even spend a pound on traffic. Then and only then do they turn on the ads. Because at that point, ads are not a question mark. They are controlled accelerant. You know the systems convert. You know the cost per acquisition. You know what a client is worth over 12 months. The only variable left is volume. And the volume is the one thing paid traffic is actually good at. So one of those 4 things is costing you money right now. And it has been since before you ran the first ad. Fix that please. Then turn on the traffic. The best ad campaign I have ever seen was built on a system that did not need the ads to survive. If you want to know whether your system is actually ready for traffic, drop a comment with the word audit and I'll walk you through the diagnostic personally. No pitch, just a real look at where the hole is. See you next time.